Hey, I've been so blessed to have Roberto Reyes with me these last few weeks in NGM Features as we've been looking into the topic on student missions. I didn't realize this, but in addition to Rob's, let's say, responsibilities with YMI, which is training area youth pastors and youth ministry leaders, YMI also serves as a facilitator, or let's say an agency, to partner with us as local church youth ministries with him. And then he's the one that sets up all the details, does all the legwork, if you will, for us to go to different places in Mexico, or let's say into even Cuba. So in other words, we take our people to him. He then joins with us and he takes us and covers all those details. So wow, he's got a lot of experience in this topic on how to prepare your team. He's got some really good thoughts on what are some of the great qualities of a healthy mission team, and even some of the best ways to prepare for that. I think you're going to enjoy this. Well, hey everyone, welcome again to our NGM Features with our guest Roberto Reyes. Robbie is here.
Hello.
So this is our last time with him for this particular series, as we've been talking about student missions. So Rob, here's the conversation today. How do we prepare our teams before we get to you as you are a host in what you do in ministry?
Well, thank you again for having me. I've enjoyed being here with you and having these conversations. They're I think they're very useful, and I hope they are for the people that is watching us. This question is it's a lot to unpack, right? But when it comes to what can you do in order for you to bring a team to another part of the world, requires a lot of work from your part, in order for me to receive your team and take you to the local church where you're going to be serving. But implies that you need to do a lot of preparation with the team. You need to do a selection. You need to work on the logistics in order for this to happen.
Okay, so take me through it. So I'm here in Virginia. I'm going to go to you in Mexico City.
Okay.
Are there 3 or 4 or 5 action steps I need to take with my team and also connecting with you before I show up at your doorstep?
Absolutely. You as a youth pastor, youth leader, you need to pretty much like start with your process of invitation and see who wants to join this team.
Right.
And from that point on, you're in charge of that side. But when it comes to me, you need to contact Youth Ministry International. We're going to be the facilitators for you.
Okay.
We're going to find you a host in anywhere in Latin America, in my case. And then from that point on, we're going to create the logistics together. I'm going to be in touch with the local pastor in Latin America and with you as a youth pastor here in the States.
And that's the cool thing that Rob's team does there with Youth Ministry International is they actually are that host or that facilitator, that agency that we can take our teams right to him, and then he does all the legwork of getting us to another location in Latin America. It could be Cuba
or Mexico.
Other places in Mexico. So in other words, again, we A to B, B to C. We take our students to him, then together, you're going, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There you go, bro. Okay. So then A and B together, we then go to, let's say, to Cuba, and then you're working on that end.
Yes.
Communicating back with us.
Yes.
Nice. Now, what goes into the actual training and the deliberate steps we need to take to train our students before we get to Rob? That's my NGM focus coming up in this next week, episode number 23, on how to best prepare your team from the student ministry side. So we're going to kind of save that for what I'll unpack. But let's take us back to, we come to you, and what are some of the characteristics that you long to see in a very healthy ministry team? Your dream team, man. Build us the dream team, baby.
Okay. If it was me, my local church, right?
Yeah.
Bringing a team to other part of the world, what I will do is be selective. There is nothing wrong with that, because you want kids that are really spiritual.
Wait. So you mean everyone who signs up doesn't get to go?
It is hard to.
I'm smirking because we'll talk about.
I know.
That.
I mean, it is a hard decision. But if it is a process. It's not for everybody.
Right.
So you need to, not like you trying to be selective, but and the process of training your team, you're gonna realize and identify who is spiritual mature for this job. So it's not like I'm gonna bring a new believer to a mission trip. It's just it can be a good thing, but it's not gonna be effective.
Do you think that also can depend on the mission or the purpose of the trip?
Well, if it's a mission team, I think the purpose of it is evangelize.
Right. Which is why I've said in some of this, and I definitely said when you were my student in class, that there's a massive difference between a ministry trip, i.e. Habitat for Humanity, go build something, paint something.
Construction.
And we call that mission, and I'm like, it's not mission. The Great Commission is making disciples. So I think there's a massive difference between a ministry trip and a mission trip. So if we're going on a mission trip, our main goal is to present the gospel of Jesus, to say, come and follow Jesus. We better have people that are mature enough to spiritually call people to follow Jesus. I'm with you.
That is correct. So I would like to have a team that is on that level,
maturity level,
and have that vision of going and share the gospel. I will train my students to actually know how to, share the gospel, know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That way they have a better range of answering questions when there is a new believer, right?
I'm smirking because that's what we're going to cover in my side, because I really want to make sure that people, that our students can truly articulate the gospel.
The gospel, yes. Another thing is that I would like to have is a student that is already ready to serve from the moment that sign up.
Yeah,
it's not like expecting from me to tell them what to do. It's somebody eager to serve.
So they got a servant's heart, and a servant's awareness.
That's very important, because if you go to a different country, just sitting around and seeing that there is a need, and you're not doing anything, it's just like it defeats the purpose.
Why you're there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
spiritual maturity, servant's heart,
humbleness. We don't want, sorry, but I don't want spoiled kids on my team.
Say that again.
I don't want spoiled kids in my team that they're like, well, I'm from the States.
Say it for the ones in the back.
Exactly, right? I'm from the States, and I should be getting this here too, because those are my rights.
Coddled, spoiled. So in other words, we're not going on a tourist excursion. This is not a trip for you to show us another country.
I'm not going to be looking for the coffee shop that you preference that you have at home.
But what's the best coffee shop?
Well, it all depends. We're not going to talk about brands here, but
you know what I'm saying.
I guarantee you there is better coffee in other parts of the world.
It's probably true. So, but I think that's the big thing we have to let our students know in advance is this is not about you.
Exactly. And one of the most important things to me is students that are intentional and they're relational.
Intentional and relational.
Okay.
Good.
Intentional because they know the purpose of them being there and that's what they're going to be doing.
Right.
And relational because that's the point of it. Like, when you go to another place, it's not only just to see what is there, right? It's to meet the people there.
Yeah.
And creating a relationship with a person in another part of the country is so beneficial for everybody. It makes you value a lot of things in life. Mm-hmm. So I think that is a characteristic that I would like to have.
Are there any others?
Well, I think for now, those are the major ones.
Okay.
But I mean,
all right.
It's all about being prepared to do this mission trip.
Have you seen teams that are prepared, and have you seen teams that are not prepared?
Yes and yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Encourage us, man. You got the last word.
Well, you as a youth leader, youth pastor, I encourage you just to train your people well before you leave your home church in order to serve others in a different part of the world. It's essential, and it will be better. It will create an impact, not only in your own students, but in the people that you're going to be serving.
Yes, that is the goal.
And when the student, your own student, is wholly trained completely and goes and serve, he will realize, this student will realize that, wow, it was worth it to spend so many months training for this trip.
Wow. Coming up next week, now this is getting into the last week of February. On March 1st, we're going to have Erica join us, and we're going to do a Facebook Live, and that is on March 1st. Of course, if you're watching this after March 1st, you can just go back and watch the replay. But we're going to do a Facebook Live where we'll have Rob, his wife Erica, and myself chatting about some of the basics that we've covered, but also really fielding a lot of questions you would have that you'd like to ask him. Email me at rich@nextgenmatters.com for some of the questions that you'd like to ask to Rob and or his wife Erica, and also of course we'll be taking questions live. Dude, thanks man.
Thanks for having me.
God bless you. You guys have a great week. Remember, what you do matters because students matter, because the gospel matters. Have a great week.
Bye.